Hello, hello, hello. Um, I was just sitting here thinking, this is one of my things that I do. I was just thinking, and I was just thinking that sometimes we don't move when God tell us to move, and then we get left behind in the process of doing your life. Then we get discouraged and sometimes envious when you see other people doing things that God told you to do, but you didn't move. You wouldn't move because you didn't think usually it's the money that's the problem. You don't have the support that you need, or you just don't move. um and when I think about all those things, I think about the uniqueness of each one of us that are put on this earth to operate and do the things that we're supposed to do, and we kind of just sit on the sidelines. And when it starts to happen for other people, we get upset because it's happening for other people, and then instead of celebrating them, we criticizing them and are comparing yourself. Oh, I could have did it better, or I could have, I should have moved when they said move and stuff like that. When I felt the urge that God gave me to say move, but I didn't do it. Well, I was just thinking, God allows us to do things. He allows things to happen. And what happens when we don't move when he says to move, or he allows something to happen and we feel like now you're upset and you're mad with God because he allowed such and such a thing to happen. And the truth of the matter is, we have so many opportunities to do a lot of things that we decided we're just not going to do. We have so many um, situations that we can step up in and we don't. So, what do you do when you see him moving in another person's life? And it could have been you, but because you didn't move, even if it wouldn't have worked out the same way for you, because each of us are unique. And in our uniqueness, the way one person does a thing, it does not mean that the other person would do it the same way. What do you do, when you feel defeated? For me, I remember back in the day when God would say to do something, I wouldn't move because I was so shy and scared of being told no, or just think for the other person like they're not interested in that. And that's not what you are supposed to do. You should be open, whether it's yes or no, to just make a move, step out on faith, be faithful in whatever you got going on and what you're trying to do. And I think that will make a difference in either sitting on the sideline or getting up and get to work. Um, I don't know, this is just one of those random talks whenever I'm at home by myself and I kind of sit around and I start to think about what if, why, delaying time for stuff that we want to do or could do but decide not to do it for whatever your reason is, thinking you're not good enough, you're not worthy, it costs too much, you don't have the money. You don't have anybody you can trust to believe in you. But the first person that needs to believe is you. You have to believe in yourself. And I think that's where a lot of us fall short. Because if God gives you a vision, a dream, a book, a story, a business, something to be creative about, if He gives you that, and you decide that nobody to be interested in it but you, then you made the decision that whatever God gave you was not good enough for you to move in. Looking out the window because we're in Louisiana, and every day it's been raining a little bit, and we look like we're about to have a storm brew up now. But I was just thinking, How do we react when God allows things to happen in our life? I was just thinking, how should you react when when he opens up ideas and give you creative thoughts and you don't move on it? And when you don't think you have the support, or, but you still sit there and the urge is still there for you to move, what do you do? I know in the Bible, um, Paul said he kept pressing toward the mark. That means you keep pushing. You keep doing whatever you need to do to make what God say to you come to life. It reminds me of Tyler Perry's story. Nobody believed in Tyler but Tyler, but he kept pushing. T.D. Jakes' story. Jakes had a storefront church that's about the size of a living room in some cases, but he kept pushing. Then the story of Joseph, from the pit to the palace, but he kept pushing. So what I'm saying is, just keep pushing, keep believing in yourself. Because I want to say, I'm 54 now, I'm about to be 55. I spent a good portion of my life hiding my mama in the back room of the house. People didn't even know who I was. And who would think, you know, I stepped out on faith about 11 years ago and started doing insurance. I was horrified, terrified, and failing at it, honestly. And then all of a sudden, something turned around, and it gives me the kind of life now where I don't have to have a boss. I'm my boss. Because as the Bible says, if you don't work, you don't eat. So if I'm not working, I'm surely not going to eat, because insurance is not the kind of games you want to play. Um, because it's 100% commission in a lot of cases. We have a lot of rules, regulation, and compliance that we have to deal with. But I kept pushing. And who knew? I knew 8 years ago that God called me to be an evangelist. I was horrified. I'm like, why me? You know what I've done, But he kept pushing. And that's what I do. I live the life that he's always had planned for me. I know that. So all I'm saying, y'all, is I was just thinking. It's just a random thoughts. What do we do? What do you do when God allows something to happen? What do you do when you sit on the sideline and don't move when he tell you to move? What do you do? If you like me and you spend half of your life sitting on the sideline and now you're finally up and you're moving around, doing what you're supposed to do, then you're going to reap the benefits, the rewards of being obedient. I was just thinking. That's all this is really about, is I was just thinking. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.